one note, and I'll be right there.
Sure thing.
All right. Welcome to the Planning and Zoning meeting for Tuesday, August 11th. And I'll start with the roll call. Carla Desjardins, here. Sean Peterson.
Here.
John Meyer.
Here.
Lindsay Jocelyn. Raz Shivik.
Yeah.
Bill Martell. Jared Fournier. Kathy Mestamaker Harris. Staff, Ryan Bray.
I have one coming in now. I don't know who it is.
Okay. And Mary Ann Shinati.
Here.
And Sonia Chapman is excused for her electoral duties today. There are no alternate members to appoint, so we'll be going right into our public hearings. Item A, Z 2020-1818 of Suzanne and Petra Malinowski, I apologize if I messed that up, requesting a special permit for a 12 by 30 lean-to addition to a two-car garage on property located at 424 Squaw Rock Road, Moosup, map 29, block 115E, lot 1, RA60 zoning district. Do we have someone to speak for the applicant? So is there anyone here to speak for Suzanne and Petra Malinowski? Unmute yourself. That could be the issue.
Moto G6 play. Can you give your name for us, please?
Hi. My name is Peter Malinowski, Piotr Malinowski.
There we go.
Okay, thank you. The floor is yours. Just give us a summary of what you want to do.
Me and my wife Suzanne, we actually applying for the special permit to build a lean-to the garage we're planning to build on our property. So the garage will be 24 by 30 and the lean-to will be 12 by 30. Additional storage for, you know, there's always something to put under the roof. And actually I even have a little drawing here. This would be the garage. The side will be the lean-to that we want to add to the garage. It will actually match the shape of the house too.
And Ryan provided that to members. So if you look in your packet, you will see the drawing. And I'm going to note for the record that Kathy Mestamaker Harris is here and she will be appointed to fill Lindsay's spot tonight. So Kathy, you are a voting member. So this is a public hearing. Is there anyone from the public with a comment or question on this application?
Art Gagne, I just have one question.
Yep.
Is this a permit for a garage and a lean-to?
Just a lean-to. We already got the permit for the garage.
Okay.
So the lean-to space brings it above the allowable square footage. So that's why he's here tonight.
Yes, exactly.
So right here is where the lean-to will be going. This garage is already permitted.
Yes.
Yeah, so here's the aerial photo. This would be the area of the lean-to. And this is a picture of the garage with the lean-to on it.
Great. Thank you, Ryan. Any other comments from the public? Okay, any additional?
Kevin Cunningham, I'm a neighbor.
Yep.
So just wanted to say I didn't see any problem with having the lean-to. I would have no problems at all with that going up.
Okay, thank you. And any comments from staff?
No comments. This conforms to our regulations.
Okay. So last call for public comments.
I just got a question real quick.
Yeah.
Is this the side view, so the garage doors, we're not seeing them, correct?
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
All right. If there are no other questions, I'll entertain a motion on the public hearing.
I'll make a motion to close public hearing.
I'll second it.
Motion by Sean to close, second by John. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, public hearing is closed. Moving on to item B, Z 2020-1825 of Ecos Energy LLC, Rodney Galton, requesting a special permit to construct a 1 megawatt ground-mounted solar facility on property located on Plainfield Pike, Plainfield, map 17, block 36, lot 37, industrial zoning district. Do we have the applicant on the line?
Yes, Rodney
The
Galton with
floor-
Ecos Energy is here.
The floor is yours.
Right. So what we're proposing is a 1 megawatt solar facility. The lot is located off of Plainfield Pike Road. It's already industrial. Thank you, Ryan, for pulling the site plan up.
Not a problem.
The approximate disturbance is 5 acres. We would be accessing this project through the Lighthouse Church property, which we do have an easement already on record, as well as a approved variance, which has been recorded as well. The site drains mostly from east to west, and we are proposing stormwater swales and a stormwater basin to capture and treat the runoff. The site will be surrounded by chain link fence, as are other projects in this area. We will be using silt fence during construction, or hay bales or wood chips, but there will be perimeter erosion control around the outside of the facility. And we are, for the most part, this has also been approved by inland wetlands. This was approved last month. So we are staying, for the most part, out of the 100-foot upland review as well, with most of our grading for the facility. The access drive from the Lighthouse property, there will be some grading that takes place within the 100-foot upland review. But for the most part, all permanent structures will be outside the 100-foot. So if anybody has any questions, I would be happy to answer them.
So this is a public hearing. So if there's anyone on the call who has a question, if you could state your name, address, and what your comment or question is. Okay, any comment? Go ahead.
Mary Ann Chinati, staff. In 2016, when this was presented to the Siting Council as part of a larger project, it was noted at that meeting that Eversource said the maximum capacity was 2 megawatts that could be added. Has that changed? Because this would make 3 megawatts total with your other 2 phases.
Correct. We do have an interconnection plan in place with Eversource.
Okay.
So they do have that interconnection plan.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question for the applicant. This is Carla, the chair.
Yes.
When you went to the Siting Council, what was the total megawatt you were applying for?
You know, Carla, I was not with the company at the time, so I cannot speak to the exact megawatts that was proposed for our sites here.
Okay.
I can, look at that information, but I do not have that information in front of me.
Okay, so do you have any awareness about why that application with the Siting Council was not approved?
I don't I don't know why it was not approved. I don't know.
Okay.
I would love to
And-
give you an answer. I can find that out.
Yep.
But I would
And I
love
will
to give you
too.
an answer, but I don't know why that was denied.
Sure. And then my other question, since the company is continuing to request additional megawattage, was there ever consideration to resubmit to the siting council for reconsideration of a larger project?
There was not, because these entities are separate from one another. These will not be shared entities at all. These are all different interconnections with Eversource. So these are completely separate projects with Eversource. So therefore, there was no consideration for going back to the siting council.
Okay. For board members, I would like to look at what was submitted to siting council and what the reasons were, because as all of you know, we are unpaid volunteers whose professions do not include engineering, environmental, or any of the such. So I think it might behoove us to read what was previously submitted to have some background information and understanding as this project continues to grow. So do I have any other input or discussion on my suggestion?
Just so you know, Carla, Mary Ann Chinati again.
Yeah.
It was 3.5 megawatts.
Oh, thank you for that.
Yep.
Okay, so hearing none, I'll entertain a motion on the on my suggestion of continuing the public hearing in order to gather that additional information so that the applicant can also answer those questions.
I'll make a motion to continue a public hearing.
Okay, I have a motion by Sean,
Second.
second by Roz. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, so we're going to continue this public hearing to September so that we can just have the full breadth of information to make a good decision.
Understandable.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
All right. Moving on to item C, Z 2020-1832 of Riley Rice, Riley Landscaping LLC, requesting a planned development district of residential and commercial for property located at 1271 Norwich Road, Plainfield, map 5, block 4, lot 45, RA60 zoning district. Now I have a notation from staff that the application may not be complete and we may have to continue this. So has the application been submitted completely?
No, and they did request to continue it till next month.
Okay, so hearing that, I'll entertain a motion to continue the public hearing to September.
So moved.
Motion by John,
Second.
second by Roz. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, public hearing continued to September. Item D, Z 2020-1833 of 54 Rood Road. I'm not going to read the rest because I have a notation that it was withdrawn. Is that information correct?
That is correct.
All right, so that has been withdrawn. So now we're moving on to the regular meeting. So I call the regular meeting to order. We do have some additions to the agenda. Under new business, we have 3 items for consideration to add. Item B, Z 2020-1866 of Affordable Lock and Stock LLC, requesting a map amendment to rezone 0.51 acres of 135-141 Ward Ave from Industrial 1 to Commercial 2. Item C, Z 2020-1869 of KANG Development LLC, requesting a map amendment to rezone 0 Sterling Hill Road, map 23, block 58, lot 11, from RA19 to RA40. And item D, Z 2020-1870 of 54 Rood Road LLC, DeVivo, requesting a special permit to construct a 1,450 square foot addition onto Building C and merge lots 5, 6, and 7 on property located at 54 Rood Road. So if I could have a motion to add those to the agenda under new business.
I'll make a motion to add those 3 items to the agenda on the new business.
Okay, motion by Sean,
I'll second that.
second by John. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Hey,
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, added under new business items B, C, and D as referenced. Citizen participation. This is the opportunity for public comment not already addressed via public hearing. So if anyone has a comment for the committee, now's your opportunity. Okay, seeing none, moving on to unfinished old business. Item A, Z 2020-1818 of Suzanne and Peter Malinowski, requesting special permit for a 12 by 30 lean-to addition to a 2-car garage on property located at 424 Squaw Rock Road, Moosup, map 29, block 115E, lot 1, RA60 zoning district. Do the members have any items for discussion? Okay, hearing none, I'd entertain a motion on the application.
Make a motion to approve.
and I'll second that.
Motion to approve by Sean and a second by John. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, Mr. Malinowski, your application is approved. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Now, Mr. Malinowski, I'd just like to state that we will be sending out a approval to you. That approval, when you get it in the mail, has to be recorded in the town clerk's office before the special permit is effective. And then you will have to come in for a zoning permit after that is recorded, okay?
Okay.
Actually, we can revise the original zoning permit, but just stop down once you get recorded. All right?
Yes, sir.
All right,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you very
So
much.
moving on, item B has been continued, item C has been continued, and item D was withdrawn. So we're moving on to new business. Item A, Z 2020-1852 of Carl Johnson, requesting a site plan review for U-Haul truck rentals on property located at 755 Norwich Road, Plainfield, map 17, block 30, lot 14, C2 zoning district. Do we have someone to speak for the applicant?
Yes, this is Carl Johnson.
All right, you have the floor if you could review your plan.
Hi, yes, I'm looking to propose a small U-Haul dealership to have the trucks parked on the rear of the lot to be able to dispatch and return for customers.
Could
We'll
you
be
just
operating-
speak a little closer to your microphone, please? We're not picking you up very well.
Yes, I'm looking to utilize the property on 755 Norwich Road. We're looking to have 6 to 8 U-Haul trucks on the rear of the property. We're looking to utilize the rear CJ Tool building.
Okay, so I'll briefly explain this for everyone. So it is required to have at least 12 parking spaces for the commercial buildings. We have the commercial building here that used to have CJ Tool. We have the commercial building here that used to be a house and is now office space. Then they're converting the existing garage, 320 square feet, into the U-Haul office. One space was added up front over here. One space was added right here. These two spaces, I don't know if they existed formerly, but there are now 3 spaces here. We also have 8 spaces in the rear. So we do have 12 spaces, and we have 2 areas back here where it's cross-hatched, and that will be for the U-Haul display.
That the staff had a couple additional comments about parking spaces to be created striped prior to permit being issued. The signature block needs to be added to the Mylar, and then the Mylars are to be recorded. Do those need to be formal conditions of any approval, Ryan, or will that just be a formality when you issue the permit?
I would suggest that to be a formal condition.
Any comments or questions from staff or commission members on the application?
Is 12 spaces adequate for the number of buildings that they have?
I do believe so. That is what our regulations require.
But does that require 12 per business or 12?
No, 12 for the entire site, for all the square footage on the site.
Any other comments, questions from staff or commission members? All right, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion on the application.
I'll make a motion to approve with the conditions stipulated by Ryan in his staff report.
Second.
Those being that the parking spaces are to be striped, that the signature block is added to the Mylar, and that the Mylars are recorded in the clerk's office.
Thank you. Motion by John. I heard a second from Roz. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, hearing none, application is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to item B, Z 2020-1866 of Affordable Lock and Stock LLC requesting a map amendment to rezone 0.51 acres of 135141 Ward Ave from Industrial 1 to C2. As this is a map amendment, it requires a public hearing. Do you,
Make a motion to schedule for public hearing.
motion by Sean,
Second.
second by Roz, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, scheduled for public hearing at our September meeting. Item C, Z 2020-1869 of KANG Development LLC requesting a map amendment to rezone 0 Sterling Hill Road, map 23, block 58, lot 11, from RA19 to RA40. This is also a map amendment that requires a public hearing.
I'll make the motion to send to a public hearing.
I'll second it.
Motion by Roz, second by Sean, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, scheduled for public hearing in September. Item D, Z 2020-1870 of 54 Rood Road LLC, DeVivo, requesting a special permit to construct a 1,450 square foot addition to Building C and merge lots 5, 6, and 7 on property located at 54 Rood Road. This is a special permit that requires a public hearing.
Why did it get withdrawn? Is it because of the square footage?
It's because they want to make a modification to the size of the building.
Okay, I'll make a motion to schedule public hearing.
Second.
Motion by Sean and a second by Roz. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, scheduled to public hearing in September. That brings us to reviewing and acting on the minutes from the July 14th meeting. And the only members present were Sean, Roz, and myself. So unless somebody listened to the tapes, Kathy and John would not be eligible to vote on these unless you listen to the tape.
I make a motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve by Sean.
Second.
Second by Roz. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Well, Kathy and John. All right, minutes are approved. Moving on to correspondence. Do we have any correspondence this month? Ryan or Marianne?
I had nothing.
Thank you.
Nothing either.
Okay, thank you. Any items for other?
What about the meeting tomorrow at 10 a.m. at the state level?
I'm sorry, say that again?
The meeting tomorrow at the state level at 10 a.m.
That's not done.
That's not for us. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
That's, I think what Sean is referring to, if you don't mind my interjection here, Just
Go ahead.
10 a.m. there is a state review for the Baptist Hospital because they'd like to put ambulatory care services in the town of Plainfield in the current building they have. And so they have to go through a review process with the state of Connecticut.
Okay. And we'll get a report of that result?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And for the record, that was Selectman Cunningham.
All right, so nothing for other, although that could have qualified, I suppose. Report from zoning enforcement.
I did provide you with the printout. Would anyone like me to go through it?
Yep.
Yes, please.
Okay. So we had 681 Norwich Road. This was the, this is the intersection of 5th Street and Norwich Road. This was the site plan that came before us for the paving company. If you remember that, that was a few months back. So they did get approval for having parking in the rear. They are not complying with that, so I am trying to work with them to comply. I have to work with the property owner. So that is one thing that's on my agenda. 6 Pine Street, received a complaint from a neighbor about a shed that was too close to the property line. I initiated contact. Well, I sent a letter out to the property owner only to find out that it was in transition with the bank. So the house is being foreclosed. Tried reaching out to the bank. They didn't respond, so I took the notice of violation and filed it on land records. So I assume that when they go to sell the house, they'll be in contact with me.
Yeah.
34 Squaw Rock, R&T Jackson, excessive chickens. This has been an ongoing one. I did speak to her about 2 weeks ago. She's down to 97 chickens. She needs to be down to 89. So she is working on that.
What was the high?
What's that?
What was the high on the chickens?
About 120.
Oh, okay.
14 Canterbury Road, Mitchell Bolio. He has junk vehicles, junk, heavy equipment on the property. He assured me that they would be off the property by the end of June, and they are not, so I'm going to be sending him out a notice of violation. 16 Old Putnam Road Extension, Lawrence Tatro. He had 2 illegal apartments. Well, he has 2 illegal apartments, one in the basement of the house, one in a detached garage that we approved by special permit. So we received a complaint from one of the tenants, the tenant of the house. I have been informed that that tenant did leave, and I believe the tenant that was above the garage also left. However, the apartments are still there as far as I'm aware. We have not been contacted for an inspection, so a notice of violation was issued, and we are waiting for the courts to reopen to move forward with that. 39 Lily Bridge Road, unregistered motor vehicles. Paul Moran is the owner. He said he would remove them. He did remove some. There still needs to be a little more cleanup to be done, so I'll be contacting him shortly. 32 to 40 Norwich Road, Suite LLC. This is the old Jewett City Savings. We have been battling with the individual that owns that property along with the tenant that has the shed company. They are not in compliance with the approved site plan. They also have other issues out there. A tree house, very large tree house that was constructed, looks to be constructed within our sewer line easement. And they have been uncooperative, so we are waiting on the courts to reopen for that as well.
And we're also in the process of working with the Plainfield Police Department for a warrant to go in to search. So once that occurs, we'll start documenting everything that's there for this board and committee. Okay?
And that was Selectman Cunningham.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand. The police to go in there and what?
We're getting a police warrant to go in to search, to verify what's inside.
Okay.
We have concerns of what's going on inside the property as well. So once we get that documentation of what's happening, we will report it and bring it back to you hopefully at the next meeting.
Okay, thanks.
6 Center Parkway, Matt Hogan, BH Trailers. You'll remember they came back before us. They had some issues with the site plan. They were approved for a new site plan. They have not yet completed the site. It is ongoing. So that is not a violation at this point. It's just an update on that. 410 Spalding Road, Hans Wichman. We received a report from the neighbor that there was a camper as a dwelling. Confirmed that it was a dwelling. The health department and I made an inspection. They had the sewer line hooked up. No, they did not have a sewer line hooked up. They had a gray water tank draining into the ground. It was hooked to water. So we made them disconnect the gray water pipe. They had 30 days to vacate, and I have to call for an inspection to make sure that has been done.
What was the 30-day deadline?
30-day deadline would have been the end of July.
Okay.
Everybody has static in the background? So if you can hear me, 211 Kate Downing Road, Dave Mackin. This is almost the intersection of Kate Downing and Lathrop Road. It is just west of Lathrop Road down the hill. He moved his construction company to the property. No permits, obviously. So I did issue a notice of violation. He was supposed to have all vehicles off the property by February. He did not. So I contacted him, informed him that once the courts reopen, we'll be going to court. He assured me that in a couple of weeks, he would have them off. That was a few weeks back, and I have not been by the property yet. But when the courts reopen, if he has not removed those vehicles and equipment, he will be going to court with us. So 671 Squaw Rock Road, Charles and Carlene Gedney, a complaint of firewood processing. They had a large pile of firewood on the property. It looked like they may have been using it for sales. Neighbor reported that they were using it for sales. They denied that, saying that it was for their own use. But I informed them that they would not be able to process for sales, and they assured me that the wood would be gone shortly. So.
Okay. Ryan, could I just make a suggestion on the spreadsheet where you have the resolution column? If we could have some status as of dates, so that way when you put things like vacate 30 days, we know what the time frame date to date is. That would be very helpful.
I will attempt to do that. I'm not real good with Excel, so fitting the information is.
I am happy to come in and tutor because I am very good with Excel.
Okay, we'll get something figured out.
So look what you just signed up for.
Did you also mention that letter we got up from Anonymous?
All right, thank you. Thank you, Ryan.
You're welcome.
Report from Planning and Zoning Department.
Other than my written report, the only update I have is on the town-owned open space bullet in my report. The Board of Selectmen did discuss the policy last night, and it was tabled to allow for modifications to the policy for clarification. So that'll be heard again at the next Board of Selectmen meeting.
And what's the date on that meeting?
Kevin, I don't have a calendar handy. Do you?
Yeah, August 24th, I believe, is the next meeting.
August 24th.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, hearing no other items and nearing the end of our agenda, I'll entertain a motion on item 13.
So moved.
I have a motion to adjourn by Roz,
Second.
second by John. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much, everybody.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Too. Thank you.